Hi all, back with more of the other side of the hill solo. This is part 62. So same days I've done 61. Things are getting tighter and tighter. Not enough a lot of armies out there now, is there? We've just finished the western offensive of the second operations phase of summer 1944. And about to start the Soviet. So I've not got many generals left, although let's say a couple got kicked back available because we're running out of armies to make AG heads. So let's just push on with that and might see if we can go and get into the fall at least. So we've got Soviet combat pawns in disputed Romania, Bulgaria. Then we've got adjacent Baltic states. And we've got adjacent Belarus. We've got adjacent Hungary with just one army in it. That's it. Yeah, it's just the four again, isn't it? Now, just recalling back, wasn't that long ago, I know there's two combat events left. Well, let's say the first one that's on top, I believe is the 28th Army one, Mountain Army thing, is it 28th or 29th or something? Which either cancels a hit for them or gives us an extra hit. However, the other one's the Finnish one that does the opposite. So, does that help you with anything? The last card was card number 20. There's only one combat card left in the deck, however, so we're going to have the reshuffle. And unfortunately, because that 5 went back, we've only got the choice of these two generals because we can't get the 2s because we've got a 5 and a 4. So the first, now this is re-rolling down. It's just, now hang on, he's a 4, he's a 5. So the 4 or 5 can't go there, and the 5 can't go there. The 4 could go there. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, I think I looked at this already. This one, that one's not defending in rough. Are we defending in rough anywhere? Yeah, here. Well, that's pretty good then, because he's not got an AG head, so it doesn't matter. So I think I would want to use that guy for there. Let's go for Hungary first, and you never know, we might get lucky and not get a combat. Now, hang on, though, Grant. Hang on. Remember the time over here when you chose the order and then realised that they were getting an extra. It was the +1, wasn't it? Now there's nothing like that here though, is there? Their +1, I want to say, is somewhere here, which is not going to involve us at all. So there's no issue there. So if we happen to have to retreat to Prague, let's just say, it's fine. Well, it's not fine, but yeah, okay, I'm going to go for Hungary first. Last combat card in the deck. Kind of just hoping for not a combat here. Okay, so Soviet faction attacking 1944. And it's card number 19. They're stuck together. I did give them a good shuffle, but oh dear. So reduction and 4 dice. And who's the guy that's saving us reduction wise? Bosch, possibly. He has a chance of doing it, doesn't he? Okay, this was a wrong choice then, wasn't it? I suppose I was just kind of hoping I might get a low card and not get a combat. We've got the opposite here. Oh no, if I take the reduction, I'm in all sorts of trouble here. I can't avoid the reduction, can I? Well, I'm thinking that was a silly choice, silly thing to do, but what, it wouldn't have mattered, would it? I had to draw a card for it anyway. So unless I can put a general in here that that can cancel that reduction. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, I remember afterwards, and also Carlos confirmed that retreat thing, 3 retreats, is only checked at the beginning. In fact, do you even draw? No, I still have to draw a combat card, yeah. But, because so if that army goes away, the fight still goes on, and in fact, do we not get one die roll for having defending in rough? Maybe? Still? Okay. Nah, you're not going to get an EG head. No. Yes, we are. Right? Because there's an order in which we do things here. Let's just check the 3 retreat thing. If there's no armies there. Where is that going to be? Now combat roll. Or is it just in the offensives? Combat planning, combat resolution, undefended areas. Here we are, page 25. Combat resolution. When resolving combat during the Axis combat segment, no, it's not the Axis combat segment. During the Western combat segment, the Western faction is the attacker and the Axis is the defender. During the Soviet, yeah, okay. The combat area is the area where the combat pawn is located. If the Axis is the attacker, combat takes place in if the Axis is the defender, combat takes place in the sector where the Axis control disk. Yeah, we know that. So it's happening in the rough, right? Undefended areas. If an area with an allied combat pawn does not contain any Axis armies, apply 3 Axis retreats starting in that area. 6.7.2. If there is a general marker no be head, bullets at that front, flip it to the question side. Okay, I think that would actually happen before we draw and reveal 1 combat card. Yeah, because that is part of the combat resolution. Let's see if I can get this in here. That's what I was reading there, right? So it's telling you about the area and what's what and who's the attacker, who's the defender. Then it talks about undefended areas. Well, remember, we've not drawn a combat card yet. Well, we have, but you know what I'm saying. So at the moment, this has a German army in that area. So this is not an undefended area. Okay, so this doesn't apply. We then draw and reveal 1 combat card. We've got a reduction and 4 dice. We now activate generals, and this is before this reduction takes place as well. So it is going to allow us a general. So I've got to pick the 5 or the 4 though, haven't I? Yeah. Well, the 4 is going to do something. The 5 is not. And when I say, I think he's going to do something. Because come at our die roll, we're not going to have any armies. But I don't think that matters. Axis combat roll 6.4. Roll 1 Axis combat die, the appropriate colour for every Axis army in the area, activated in 6.2.1. Roll 1 Axis combat die, appropriate colour for every Axis army in the area, activated in 6.2.1. Which is head of army group activation. Activate the head of army group. The area. I'm not really seeing the connection there. Anyway, up to the stacking limit of the combat area. So remember, this combat stacking limit here is 4. We could have 4 armies doing the attack. We're going to have none. The number of the dice must be modified if the following conditions apply. If the Axis is the defender and the combat sector is rough, add 1 white combat die. So I think, going by the rules that I'm reading there, sorry, it's in the area activated in 6.2.1. That's what I'm misreading there. So we would roll a dice for every colour of army that was in that activated area. There's going to be none, because I'm going to have to take that reduction. But I'm still going to get to roll the dice for the rough. That's what I'm reading there. So I'm going to use this guy. We're going to have von Manstein as well here, who has a reroll as well. So, but I can't mean it's either use him or use him. He's not going to do anything for me. So I'm going to use. Well, hang on. Let's get von Manstein down and remind ourselves what he. It's just the reroll with the dice, isn't it? This one is control. No, if his markers will be boxed, control and put him in. Reroll one die. The second result must be applied. And this one is a controlling player may choose original result on the new result. Okay, so I think I can re-roll the die. Let's just say I roll a blank. Let's just say I use this and re-roll it into a hit. And let's just say I want guns, and I can choose that then to re-roll that hit into guns. Maybe, I might end up a re-roll the hit into a blank. So am I not better doing this one first? I think the fact this one says the second result must be applied. Now I'm not sure if I have to interpret that as in I can't re-roll that dice again, I've got to apply it, or I could chuck this guy in and then say, right, I'm going to re-roll that and I might use that result, but I might use the other result. I think I'd be okay to do that way, but you know what, I might just go for it really, rather than I don't want to start asking more questions about this. Okay, that's my general pick. So, and with no AG head, remember, because there's only one army. Right, now we're going to resolve it. So now the next step is, where was that bit I was reading? It's the steps of the page before, yeah. So we draw and reveal one combat card. We activate the generals that will participate in the combat. We've done that. We now start the allied combat roll, which is 6.3. So now we look at the special effect. The special effect on this card says, for 1944 Soviet faction attacking, reduction and 4 dice. So reduction has to be this. That goes away. We've now no armies in that area, but that undefended area thing has already been checked. It doesn't trigger, right? Okay. So now we've got 4 dice for them to roll. There's no pluses, no bonuses. Air naval control is in the 1 box. So 4 red dice, and only events are going to be not hits. I will also say again that I think the top combat event card is a good one for us. So I sort of want an event here for 2 reasons. It's not a hit, and I think it takes a hit away or gives us a hit. So here we go. And we get none. So 2 air. So it's all hits. So now maybe we want a combat event ourselves. We're only getting 1 dice though. Okay. So with no armies, we can't get any dice for the armies. We're defending in rough, so we get 1 white dice, right? And I'm just gonna roll this, and then well, we want a guns, I think. I mean, even the event is going to only give us 1 hit, I think, or take 1 hit away from them. A guns is giving us 2 hits. Right, this is all we've got. We've got 2 rerolls, sorta. Right, so we've got a hit. So, you know what? I don't think I'll mess with on Manstein then. And I'll just use Walter Weiss. I'm going to re-roll that, and if I get a guns, I'll keep the guns. If I get anything else, I'll just revert back to the hit, I think. Because I'm as well keeping the event for the next one. Right, so I'm going to use his re-roll ability. I'm not 100% sure if I could use von Manstein's first. I mean, I did say I was just going to do it. If I use his first, the second result must be applied. See, it's just the way that's worded. That suggests to me that, look, if we re-roll that through him, that next result has got to be applied. We can't re-roll it again. That's what I'm sort of feeling it reads to me. But I have to say that it's probably okay for me then to say, okay, I'm going to use them and now re-roll that. But I'm not going to take a chance with it, so I'm not going to involve von Manstein here. I'm just going to re-roll this and either revert back to that or better still get a guns. Come on. We got the event. Right, I'm going to revert back to that, okay? Because I'm not 100% I don't think the event is going to do any better than that. So it's another terrible result, but let me know, maybe if anybody wants to comment, if I could have re-rolled him first, and let's just say it turned up to be a blank, then stepped in with him to then either keep that blank or re-roll into something else, if you know what I mean. I suppose the fact is a blank. Let's just say my original roll had been an event, right? Then I used von Manstein to re-roll that into a hit. Okay. Could I then have used his ability, or would I have to apply that because it says it must be applied, or would I then be able to use this guy to step in to re-roll that and either take the new result, which might have been that, which is what we're hoping for, or revert? But if it happened to be that, then I could revert back to that. Would that be allowed? Right, if you understand what I'm saying. I guess it's just the way that is worded. I get the feeling I probably could have done it that way, but let's not mess about. Right, so I've got 3 hits of a difference. And we've no armies. We're gone. Out of Hungary, aren't we? Yep. It's 3 hits of a difference. You can only retreat 3. Well, we're going to have to lose the Festung sector in Prague, aren't we? So this is 1 hit satisfied. This is 2 hits satisfied. And then so so if the access control disk is on effect Festung sector, all retreat results in the area must be applied as reductions. I've got 1 retreat still to apply, and it's in the Festung sector. I can't apply it as a reduction. The access control disk is removed from the map when there are no Axis armies left in the area. Oh, so if I don't have an army in the area and had to retreat to... Say the result here was only 2 hits. Okay? That's saying that I go 1, 2, and then I've got to remove that. Because it says the access control disk is removed from the map when there are no armies left in the area. When an access control disk is removed from a Festung sector, follow these steps. So actually 2 hits would have done that to me there, but I didn't really consider that. I kind of thought that we could have retreated. If the result was only 2 hits here, I thought I could have went back to there and we're fine. Well, we've no armies there, but we're fine. And then they would then take that Budapest. But that's not what that reads there. That reads a further retreat. Well, mind you, it's talking about further retreats. No, sorry, I'm reading the wrong bit. If the access control disk is on a Festung sector, all retreat results in the area must be applied as reductions. The access control disk is removed from the map when there are no Axis armies left in the area. Yeah, okay, it is saying that. So if you've got 1 in the Festung sector and no armies in that area, then that is removed. Anyway, we still have 1 retreat to deal with. And remember, Carlos has confirmed that it doesn't, you just ignore that hit, but you still carry out the Festung stuff. So, and we follow these steps. We place the removed access control disk in the collapse of Germany box in the lowest available number. It says lowest available number. I don't see these as being numbered, but it doesn't matter. We're not until we get 3 of them. So that goes in there. Move the Allied control disk to the Festung sector, so we have to bring a new one. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be Soviet, isn't it? It does say if the Western faction's attacking and it's into a Soviet area, then it's a Soviet disc you put down, but this is different. So, and then we replaced the disputed marker. Well, there wasn't even a disputed marker, so it was that bad. So that comes away and becomes Soviet occupied. The leading general, all heads of army group in the area, and the head of the OB are dismissed. So we're losing von Manstein as well. The leading general, all heads of army group in the area, and the head of the OB in the front box are dismissed and removed from play. Right, I'll get to that in a minute, and then we subtract one resource from the value. We're doomed here. We're not even going to get to 1945, I think. No, I'm not convinced we're going to get there. Right, that's the combat dealt with. Resources down to 9, so I'm going to put the combat card away. I'm also, actually, while I'm just going to shuffle the combat deck up. So give me a second. Right, so we've got a nice, fresh new combat deck to punish us some more. Right, okay, well I can take this pawn out. And where are they going to attack? From there now, Yugoslavia is going to be under attack and Poland's going to be under attack, isn't it? Great. Great. Right, so we had no AG head there. However, we do have Walter Weiss, who is going to be dismissed. So his card goes away and his marker goes away, and then unfortunately now we're also getting losing von Manstein, who was our OB. So his card goes away and his marker comes out of the OB Ost box. Well, that's going to create a vacancy still there, isn't it? You still have to have one. Well, remember, there's nobody that can do anything apart from him, and he's gone. Okay, I think that's everything. Well, Barry wasn't charging up there, so the struggle. I was hoping to get another part done. I wonder if I can take a little bit of a pause, get something to eat maybe, and yeah, I think I might do that. Just go and pause just now. Yeah, okay, I'll be in pause. I'll be back in a bit. Cheers. Right, that's me being on pause for a little bit, some lunch. So what are we, 23 minutes in, 3 more combat checks to make, fresh combat deck shuffled up, lost another disc into the Collapse of Germany box. So will we possibly rolling a dice at the end of this summer phase even to see it's possible? Yeah, because, well, maybe not. That's not... Oh, no, hang on. We've got a Festung up there, though. Yeah. Right, well, it's just random off the top. It's a fresh deck. I've got a 5 general and 2 2s. Now, where can the 5 not go? Mind you, we don't really want the 5 to go anywhere. Let's just go top to bottom. Yeah, because Bosch has a chance of cancelling the reduction, isn't he? So, Baltic States, defending in a river, combat card, Soviet faction 1944 on the attack. That's typical, eh? I think we had this once before. With von Kukler, I think, drew that and there was no special effect to cancel, which is a bit annoying. Then, okay, it's probably, I had to roll to cancel it there, so, and it might have been another special effect, it might have been the satellite reduction. So it's 4 dice, so there is a combat. Our generals, remember, we now don't have an OB, sadly. So we've got Bush, who's, well, had the chance to do his thing. Yeah, cancel special reductions, so that's not going to do anything. And then looking at a general to come along and help then, which I think we maybe do want now. Control a permanent reroll of white dice. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with him. Defending an any. Control a permanent reroll 1 white dice, and access combat roll. New result must be applied. Right. So that's all we've got going for us. Yeah, so 4 dice for them. 4 red dice. Air naval control obviously is at the 1 box, so the only thing that's not a hit is an event. Now, hold on, we didn't draw an event, did we? So I think we're still sitting with the 28th Mountain Army one on top. So event could help us. Oh my, you wouldn't think this event's on these dice. I mean, I know there's only 1 on the dice, but I seem to be rolling hits like mad now. Okay, it's in river, so the tank's not doing anything extra, but it is 4 hits, Grant. Right, and we're getting to roll 2 white dice, nothing extra. We can re-roll 1 of these white dice. Here we go. We need some guns. And we re-roll 1, don't we? Right, so we keep the event and hope that is what we think. And we re-roll this, hopefully into our guns. That's another event. Oh, that's going to get them both. So we're going to get 1 good one and 1 bad one. It's just going to balance it out. Oh, this is just going from bad to worse. 4 hits. We've done the re-roll. Must be applied. Yeah. Yeah. This is horrendous. Right, 2 combat events. So the first one is, indeed, 28th Mountain Army. The USSR is not in war. Well, it is. If the combat is with the Western faction, well, it's not. So cancel 1 hit from the Allied combat roll in this combat. And then we roll a Soviet die, and if the result's a hit, we discard this card. So we get to cancel this. But yeah, and then I'm going to re-roll this. I'll re-roll this. If we get that, the card is discarded. Any other result, it goes to the new year. And I'm starting to doubt there's going to be a new year. Because this could, well, cancel. No, but they're just going to get another hit from the other event, aren't they? That's going to discard it then, Roll 1 over the dice. If the result is a hit, the star, discard this card. Yeah, so it's gone now. We're not getting it next year, but I don't think there's going to be a next year. Okay, so we cancelled the hit. That's first event. Now the second combat event, which is the last combat event in the deck, is Finnish armistice. So if the combat is not with the Soviet faction, we put down the bottom. Well, it is hit +1 hit to the Soviet combat roll in this combat, and then this card's done. So we just took the hit away and then gave them a hit back. That's taking care of that event. We've got 4 hits. We are going to be rolling this dice, I think. So, yeah, because we're going to be in this situation that I just talked about, which I wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't have thought this meant that you lost the area. Because we've got 4 hits to take. Now, we can only retreat 3. We've got 2 reductions, and then 2 retreats back into Königsberg. And I would have thought then I would be okay. But going by what that says there, I mean, it's within the retreat rules. Well, that's what we're doing. We are retreating. If the Axis control disk is on a Festung sector, all retreat results in the area must be applied as reductions. Well, this is not the case to start with, so could it be that I'm maybe not reading this properly? The Axis control disk is removed from the map when there are no Axis armies left in the area. When an Axis control disk is removed from a Festung sector, follow these steps. See, I don't know, it sort of feels a little harsh that I'm satisfying the 4 hits here. I mean, well, let's do what we have to do, right? So there's 1, 2. 2 hits there, right? And then the other 2 is retreat, retreat. Now, my take on that, just before I've read that rule, or read what it says there, I would be putting this here. And I would be making this disputed. Right? Yeah, so I would be making this disputed. And that's all I would be doing. Apart from the generals going away. But, hang on. 2 retreats, wasn't it? So that's more than 1 retreat. OB is questioned. Well, we've not got an OB. This activated general will be questioned. Schultz. So I'll put him away. Schultz. Where are you? There you're there. So he's in the marker box questioned. And then Ernst Busch, who would normally go back in command, however there's no armies left, so he's going back in available. Well, I think, here's the other thing, because these guys are going to get removed, aren't they? They're going to get dismissed, if I'm reading it the other way. So anyway, he would be questioned, his marker goes in there. Right, I should remember it was, see, I maybe should have left them there. Because I think I kind of need to know if I'm doing this right or not. So they'd both be questioned. OB, there's no OB. See, it's right within the retreat, bro. I mean, what is it about? This is page 29, and it's 6.7.2 retreat. So it's talking about retreat, it goes through all this procedure. If the Axis control disk was in the 1 sector, well, it wasn't. It started in the 3 sector. So if the Axis control disk was in the highest numbered sector in the area, place a new Allied control disk in that sector. If the yes, right, okay. Remove the occupied satellite marker, put a disputed marker. Yeah. In order to apply a retreat, move the Axis control disk to the next lowest numbered sector, move the Allied control disk to the sector vacated. Yeah, so remember, we're doing all that. We've took 2 reductions and we've took 2 retreats. But we're in this Festung sector without any armies, and it clearly says here. I mean, it talks as well. It says when. No. If the Axis control disk is on a Festung sector, all retreat results in the area must be applied as reductions. Right, but that doesn't apply because we've satisfied all the reductions, the retreats, and whatever. The Axis control disk is removed from the map when there are no Axis armies left in the area. You know, it straight up says it there. I just feel like I want to be absolutely sure about this because this is quite a big point here. Reading what I've just read there says that this should go away into the collapse of Germany box. We lose a resource. We lose Baltic states. You know, I think that's what should happen the way I'm reading it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to pop this question out here as well, just because I don't want to just close the game off. Because then I'm gonna have 3. I mean, it looks like that. This is right. Then I'm going to have 3 of these here. So come the victory check phase, we're going to roll a dice. I want to say that as long as I'll roll above a 3, is it? I'm okay, but I mean that's a 50. Above a 3, or is it 3 or above? I'm not sure. I can't mind now. However, if for some reason the way that's worded is not. Is only if you've got more. If I've got another hit to take, another retreat, I've no armies. If I've got one more hit to take, I get that. That gets removed. But if I've satisfied all the hits just now, there's no armies left there. Does that get removed just now? I mean, you might say, well, Grant, that's what you just read out. The Axis control disk is removed from the map when there are no Axis armies left in the area. And that's it talking about when it's on a Festung sector. I mean, if this wasn't a Festung sector, it wouldn't have got removed. And that's sort of what's putting me off there a bit as well. Okay. 35 minutes coming up. This is a rather shortish part of this, but I don't feel like I can. I don't feel like I want to move on. Yeah, I was going to say I could have maybe moved on and checked the other two combats, but Ernst Busch I've put back in available because I'm questioning him. If this Festung sector's gone, he's not in the available, so well, not that I could select him for any of the combats because he's a 6 anyway. In fact, you know what? I can't select any generals as leading generals now because he's went back in there. Well, if he's dismissed though, that changes things as well. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut this as about the shortest part I've done, I think. And then go and ask this question here, just to be sure that we are understanding it fully. Because it's the first time that I'd read that bit, to be honest. And like I say to you, I would, without reading that bit, I would have thought what I've set up there is what should have happened. However, that's maybe not the case. It might mean though if I've still, because it still talks about retreats. This comes after the bit that says if further retreats must be applied. So I'm wondering if it's meaning that if we needed to apply a further retreat and we had no armies and we're in a Festung sector, we're going to move it from the map. And then remember, you ignore any excess hits after that anyway. So it could be that. It could be that that's read that way. Okay, I'll leave it with that with a short part. I won't get back tonight. I should get back tomorrow though for another bit. And I'll go and pop this question out and hopefully I can... well, to be honest, I might come back and be an even shorter part because we're then going to have you got a couple of combats still to do. You know, I'll drag it out for another part and then we've got the victory check to make, possibly if this is 3 in here. So, okay, I'll be back tomorrow. Cheers.